Welcome to Woodshop 101, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. Now meet the yin and yang of woodworking and the lady that keeps them in line, Jeremy, Drew, and Sam.
Hey guys, welcome to episode number 72. Tonight we're going to talk about trend setting and following trends. We're joined tonight by our guest host again, Zach Manring from Southern Ginger Workshop. How's it going, Zach?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good, as long as I can get my words out the way I want to. Southern Ginger Workshop.
It's a tongue twister, right?
Yeah. So, Jeremy, how's it going with you, man?
It's good. I feel like I've been talking to you guys for the last, several hours.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like we just recorded a show or something. But, yeah, it's been kind of busy, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, this is our fast and loose episode, so we are basically going to get right down to business and discuss the topic. But before we do that, I wanted to give a big shout out to Michael Brindle, who is our top Patreon supporter right now. For those of you that don't know, we are on Patreon. So in order to keep the lights on, we do need some help from time to time, and Patreon is one of the best ways to go about doing that. So you can head over to our Patreon page. There will be a link down in the show notes or the description of the video, and you can help support us in any way possible. Plus, you'll be able to get rewards at the same time. So thanks a lot to Michael for being one of our supporters. So the topic, like I said, is trend setting. Do we follow the trends? Do we kind of stray away from the trends? I remember a trend that happened whenever I made my dead blow mallets. It seemed like everybody was making mallets after mallets after mallets, and I didn't even plan it to happen that way. My mallets were mainly for thank you gifts for Jay, Steve, and John Hayes whenever I finished my table saw cabinet. And I mentioned that on the last show too, ultimate table saw cabinet. And
where you can buy plans at Rockin' H Woodshop.
Yeah. Plug.
Keep in mind there. Hey, dude, I just surpassed my 1,000th order not too long ago.
I saw that. That's pretty awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. But yeah, that was pretty cool. But in any case, the trend, it just kind of happened. I think John made a mallet to send back to me. And then Steve, I think, even made a mallet. Steve Ramsey. He didn't send me one, but he was just, I think, in the process of making one when he got mine. Jay, he received mine. I don't think he made one at all. He wasn't around that time. But I seem to remember Darvin Orver, I think, made one around that time. Gosh, I can't quite remember.
I think April Wilkerson made a batch of them at one point. Was that afterwards, or?
I think that was afterwards, but she did receive one from someone. I think it was DIY Tyler sent her one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it just kind of happened, and I didn't even plan it that way.
Sounds good.
But when it comes to the trends, I don't really follow unless it's like a build off sort of thing, like a challenge. But most of the time, no, I just kind of do my own thing. I don't know. What about you guys? You follow or do you stray away?
I don't think I would say no, I don't follow them. I don't know if I always see them happening until the curve is already starting to dwindle, if that makes sense. Once you're like, after the trend is starting to settle down, I think is sometimes I start noticing it. And then at that point I'm like, all right, well, maybe it's a little too late to get involved in that, or there's been too much of it. So would there be any benefit or gain by me adding my input? So I generally don't follow the trends.
It's probably a good thing that there wasn't a dining room table trend.
Maybe there will be after I build it and put it together.
Maybe.
Nice.
I mean, I know somebody else that's building one after me, so.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching your build very, very closely, and it's been giving me inspiration.
What about you, Zach?
I don't tend to follow anything, I don't think, in particular. There was one thing recently that I've kind of jumped on the bandwagon. It's the spinning fidgets. I just jumped on that recently, and I'm probably late to the game as well, but it was just something that I was sent the house and I started drawing something up on, with a CNC, and I was like, yeah, let's go. Let me play around with it. So I did one, and then it's like somebody in my Instagram was like, hey, what would be cool if you did it this way? And I'm like, well, I guess I can try that too. So I ended up making about 7 different types of these little spinners, and with different materials and stuff, and just having fun with it. So that was one of the ones I recently kind of jumped onto. But for the most part, I don't really follow any trends in particular.
All right. I mean, what are some, So what are some of the trends? I mean, I know. So this topic got inspired because of the fidget spinners and
little fidget spinners.
How big they've been. Man, look, that thing is just look at it flying right there.
Good grief.
I know, look at that thing flying right there. So
it's fun, right? I mean, it's I can go into some crazy detail about these fidget spinners because I've messed around with so many weird things with these things already, and it's crazy. I don't know. It's addicting too. Like I've gone on a couple interviews recently because I just recently lost my job, so I've been going on these interviews, and I've been bringing these with me and just been spinning them in the interview, and they're in shock and awe. They're like, I want that. I want to play with that. So it's actually kind of an icebreaker too, which is kind of funny. But as we've been talking the whole time, I've actually been spinning this thing. It just keeps my hands occupied. That's all it really is. That's all it's for. Just keep your hands occupied. But it's kind of weird. I know, Drew, you have a CNC machine, and I made these on CNC, and they're, you would think, okay, I make a file, I do all the calculations, I use, a caliper, and I do all the very precise, everything very precise, and you cut it out, it'll work perfect. Well, it will with certain materials. Like I use the same file on wood, and the bearing and the 2 nuts that I use on the side are actually, they're loose in the wood. I want to imagine that's something to do with the stress that's built into the wood. I do it with plastic that's from like a cutting board, and it fits like perfect. Like the cutting board plastic just works perfectly. And then I did it with the acrylic, which is the one I have here on the showing you guys. And the acrylic is actually so tight that I have to put it in the vise and like clamp down on it on the vise and shove it in like pressure, put so much pressure on this thing. The good thing is acrylic won't crack on me, but it's just crazy that the exact same file with 3 different materials give me 3 different results. So
I think it's just consistency in the materials. I mean, like wood has lots of different inconsistencies as you go across the board. So,
sure.
I mean, the grain might be closer together, making it more dense in a certain area than it is, maybe on the other end of your fidget spinner. So I can understand that, and the way the wood moves. If it's not so dense as far as the grain, if it's not real tight grain where you go to screw that one in, it may be rather loose.
Sure. But what about the 2 different plastics? Wouldn't you think they're pretty consistent though, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I guess it's just how it's made, though.
Isn't the same, though.
No,
the quality is not the same. But I mean, is there a chance that it could be like releasing stress that's in the plastic or anything like that? Like any type of machine manufacturing stress that once I cut into it? Because I mean, some of these are, some of the cuts in here are super thin, and you would think that it would release something.
Well, I mean, as heat is built up on maybe the plastic cutting board, the plastic may be melting a little bit, causing a little
warp or something.
Yeah, just making it kind of sloppy.
Okay, maybe
the acrylic might be a little more dense and more resistant to heat.
Yeah, it's just interesting. It's just those things that you don't think about. Like you make a single file, and I'm like, I'll just run whatever material I want through this, and it just doesn't work as easy as you think it would. So it's the little things that get you every time. So
yeah. But
I do like the acrylic though. I think the see-through is real cool.
Yeah, it's different. And actually, this acrylic came from an old fish tank that I cut up on my table saw. So I guess it's recycled, right? I mean, it's upcycling, right? So there you go, another trend. I mean,
upcycling. Didn't it double as a phone holder?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, I just posted that. You can take a carriage bolt and screw in the back side of both of these, and it will actually stand up as a cell phone holder. It was one of those happy mistakes, man. It wasn't nothing I planned out. I just was like, hey, you know what? I want to see if this works. And sure enough, it'll hold the phone very well.
I mean, I do know 2 other guys that would like a Batman fidget spinner.
Oh, yeah? Who's the 2? I think I know where one of them is.
Just saying.
Oh, yeah, he's talking about us.
If you're just not getting that, Drew, you need to go to bed.
Yeah, so that's one of the trends I jumped onto recently. But there are the other ones. The no lathe pen challenge is a recent one that just came up, right? The concrete challenge was something that came up not too long ago. So all those are, like, I guess, some trends that are happening in the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the big ones that Sterling started was that pallet challenge, and that inspired a lot of DIY trends.
Yep. And that's like, I mean, I get a lot of views from the pallet stuff I do on my YouTube. It's just something that people just love about that. You know, it's a whole upcycling and the pallet and the roughness of it and the country kind of feel to it. So it's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, if I jumped on any trend, I would have said, yeah, it was probably the pallet. You know, I've done some things out of pallet, not a lot. But other than that, you know, a lot of the challenges and stuff like that, I don't know if I don't have the time. You know, it's either don't have the time or the topic of it just doesn't interest me.
Sure.
You know, that you don't really see many challenges of like, build a piece of furniture and let's, you know, make a table or make a version of a table, sofa table, dining room table, end table, coffee table, whatever, dollhouse table. But you don't see those types of challenges or trends very much. And, you know, I think maybe because it requires a little more time to necessarily build, you know, because that one table may take somebody 3 weeks to make. I don't know. But I think those are more the areas that I would want to get into. Like, oh, hey, there's a bar stool challenge or something that has to do with furniture or something a little bit bigger.
Well, I'm working on a fidget challenge that if you want to get into.
Well, I don't have a CNC, and
you don't have to have a CNC to do it.
No, you don't.
You can use a drill press.
Yeah. So
that's what most of them are done with.
You know, there's a lot of the fidget spinners coming out right now, and I can't even. It's been going on like so heavy lately. I don't even know who the first person was that started it. I think somebody did
was it. Laura Kampf?
I don't know. I'm thinking Tony Rouleau was the first one that started it. I think somebody did it for the Making It 100 event that happened.
Interesting.
I'm thinking that's where it started. Somebody made a couple of them for the Making It 100 event, and then has since made more. But don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure. But see how trends start and they get so heavy that it's hard to trace it back to where did that trend start?
Right.
You know. So. Or
does it really matter where it started? I mean, you got out in the shop and you did something with your hands and you built something. I mean, does it really matter? It inspired you to go out in the shop, and I think that's what's important.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. It is getting out in the shop. But yeah, I mean, just kind of seeing the history. I mean, I like history, so I like knowing where things come from and like how trends follow, and that's part of what I teach doing law enforcement is trends and understanding trends. You know, because and this really kind of goes a different way, but we teach trends as okay. Look at trends to track an individual to find out, you know, are they prone to breaking the law? If they broke the law, how many times and how likely are they to break it again? To what extent of the crimes and that type of thing. Sure. And so trend setting and following trends is something that I'm just interested in, and kind of seeing the history and where things started to versus where things are now. Like, okay, well, who made the first fidget spinner in this like recent trend? and let's compare and contrast like the first one to like where people are at now, and see how elaborate they have gotten, or how simpler they have gotten.
Sure.
But
I hear you.
I mean, it's just kind of interesting to, notice trends popping up. And, a lot of people may not think about it. They may just see a whole bunch of it and never think about how those trends change the community, for a better, or it could change it for a worse. But, most of the time it's changing it for a better. But, think about, where we were a year ago or 2 years ago.
I can think of a trend that really changed our community is the sticker swapping.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's been huge. Like, it's just getting your name out there and seeing your sticker on the back of somebody's video. It's just a good feeling. It's like, hey, look at that. You got my sticker showing up in your shop.
Yep. And that can be.
I don't know about you guys, but when I'm watching somebody's videos and I see their sticker pop up, I'm like, pause.
Where's my
Let's
sticker?
look for it.
Absolutely. And that can be traced back to Jay Bates, because he put out a video saying, hey, this is what I want to do with my cabinet. Mm-hmm. If you guys have stickers, or if you have stickers to purchase, let me know. I want to buy some and put them up. And people just started sending him stickers. Then he got stickers to send back to him. And then that's kind of how that got going. Oh, hey, I'm going to make stickers. And, I would say Sticker Mule has probably increased in business based out of our community.
Just our community, yeah.
I mean, because you got to think, people spend, $100 or $200 or $300 a year in stickers, depending on how much they send them out.
Sure.
But then on the caveat is you don't realize how much you spend in postage sending those out either.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, but it's it's one of those ways of connecting with the community, and I really enjoyed that.
I love it.
I mean, the first time I got somebody from overseas, I think it was Greece. Somebody sent me a sticker from Greece. I'm like, holy cow! Somebody in Greece knows me. It's just such a cool feeling.
Absolutely, and it's I think that's probably one of the biggest trends in the community. That at some points it seems like it's dying off, and other points it seems like it's taking off. And I think the early adopters of it are starting to die off. But then some of the, maybe not so well-known YouTubers and stuff are gaining that traction and keeping it going.
Well, mine's starting to slow down a little bit because my sticker carousel is completely full.
Yeah.
And I have nothing. I have nowhere else to put anybody's sticker. I'm gonna have to start putting them on top of other ones, or to the side of another one.
Yeah.
Do a Steve Ramsey sticker.
I'm gonna have to do a Steve Ramsey. Yeah, exactly. I actually have 4 or 5 of them sitting right here. I'm going to have to do a photo on it, post on Instagram. That's another way of just calling people out. I think it's a great way of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, in fact, I got, probably 4 or 5 sitting here on my desk somewhere, and that I got to respond to. But I've kind of held off, and I've told people, hey, if you send me one, I'll get one back to you. But I'm waiting for podcast stickers to come in as well, because I got a habit of sending those out as well. Like if I'll send you back a couple, exactly. Like, let me send you a couple. So if I can hold off until I get other stickers in, then let it do it.
Yeah, I do the same for Southern Woodworkers. If they send me a sticker and they're in the South, I'll send them a Southern Woodworker sticker as well.
Yeah. So
yeah, you got to know where that Mason-Dixon line is.
Yeah. Hey, are you above the Mason-Dixon line? You can't have a sticker.
You can't have a sticker, man. Sorry.
Sorry.
You're not a club member.
Yep. Apparently, Oklahoma is considered the South. I did not know that.
We have found this. Sorry, Kansas, you're not in it.
Sorry, Kansas. That's the cutoff. You gotta start somewhere or stop somewhere.
and it magically goes down and around Texas to include, and then like Arizona, New Mexico. Hey, sorry, you're not in the South.
Yeah, you're no longer in the South.
You're in your own little world.
Yep, pretty funny.
All right,
well, can we think of any other trends besides that? I mean, we had the mallet, we had the challenges, of course, but was there anything that just kind of spawned, just kind of out of the blue? Kind of like the stickers did, but somebody's trying to do a shirt swap instead of sticker swap, which I can imagine gets a little more expensive.
A little bit more expensive, yeah. I think the one that spawned out of the blue was the concrete one, right? Wasn't it
Concrete?
Yeah.
Jocko that did it, and people gave him such a negative review on that video that everybody went out and built concrete USB hubs.
Okay, yeah, that one.
That one spawned out of the blue. Like, it was like he did a video on this, and people hated it so bad that the community like lashed back and was like, I'm gonna make my own concrete USB hub, and just I guess for the haters.
Well, and they kind of spawned in a few different directions too. I think DIY Creators did a concrete lamp.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
And I think concrete as a medium and as a whole is another trend. Incorporating it into more furniture projects, I think is a trend that has been going on for a while. So
yep, DIY Pete, good one for that one.
Yep. So
concrete. I need to do some concrete. I haven't done any.
I haven't either.
Maybe I'll make a concrete fidget spinner.
Oh gosh.
Gotta hold
Make
it.
Make it stop.
I'm gonna hold this. You spin it. I have to hold it with two hands.
Like Price is Right, the big wheel.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna do. So the trend.
Right. Well, if you guys know of any trends that you can offer into this subject matter, be sure and send us an email or drop us a voicemail or just anything that we can perhaps feature in the show notes later on. We would greatly appreciate that. So before we get off here, Zach, since you are our guest host for the last time, why don't you tell some people that want to get in contact with you how they can go about doing it, especially for the Southern woodworkers?
Yeah, so the Southern Woodworkers stuff, you can actually just go to southernwoodworkers.com. That will automatically link you to our Facebook page where you can follow us there. And then for my stuff, you can go to southernginger.com, and I have all my social media stuff there. But if you want to follow me directly on YouTube or Instagram, you can search for Southern Ginger Workshop.
And you need a map, I think, on the Southern Woodworkers site. It has the states that are.
I'm going to post it right now. That's a good idea.
It'll be a lot clearer to everybody.
If you don't live in one of these states.
It actually, the thing is, it goes all the way up to Maryland, which I thought was surprising. But it is south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you guys want to get in contact with Jeremy or myself, you can reach us through our websites at rhwoodshop.com and countrysideworkshop.com. There will be a special contact link that you can fill out. Ask us anything, give us feedback. We also tend to feature those things on the podcast as well. So if you need some different insight on your question and want to hear a different perspective, be sure and check the podcast out as well for that. You want to contact us at the same time through the podcast itself, you can go to the woodshop101podcast.com/listen website. There you'll be able to stream all of our other episodes that we've had, and you can do that through any kind of mobile device, including your home computer. But you can drop us an email through woodshop101podcast@gmail.com. You can call on our fancy voicemail line, which is 409-234-3959, and we will air that question on air as well and be sure and answer it in a timely manner. If you have some kickback that you want to leave, just straight up kickback, we do have a special email for that, and it's kickback@woodshop101podcast.com. So that pretty much wraps it up there. I think I've blurted out as much as I can. So, Zach, it's been fun having you, man.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Good times.
Yeah, we'll be sure and have you on another time, too, because these guest hosts are a lot of fun, and I think it gives everybody that listens just another added perspective.
Right,
aside from Jeremy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Aside from Jeremy and myself, this, what do you call it, armchair woodworking or something like that? Just
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from you guys. So I learned a lot from the Mason-Dixon line. I think that was important to learn. So I appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad I could teach you something, or have you Google something for you to learn.
All right. Well, we guys want to wish you guys well. Please be safe in your shops. So from Jeremy, Zach, and myself, 1, 2, 3.
Boom.